record.
Hello, everybody. Today, as we promised, Andrea and I promised, we are going to begin with our perspective on A Course in Miracles. I got asked an interesting question yesterday, not interesting so much, but just a question yesterday on Messenger to tell them what A Course in Miracles was about because they had seen a little bit of a post and lost the post, whatever it was. And basically, I told them it's a course in love. Even though I found out later in the day, I guess this has been rewritten and there's an actual course in love. We're not really teaching that one, but I'm sure a lot of these are the same. And what this amounts to is over the next year, we're going to have, counting today, 366 individual videos based on a lesson for each day through the year. And the lessons are basically set out to help you um, change, basically change who you are from the inside out. Uh, it's it's going to help you see the world completely different. So we're encouraging you every day to stick with the lesson. If you miss a day, that's okay. You can come back to the one you missed, or you can just start over again from that point. Like if you miss 7 days, it's going to be on our YouTube channels. And each one of us has a YouTube channel, which we'll put in the, I guess we'll put in the comment sections somewhere. Not exactly sure how we'll do that, but just ask us and we'll give you our YouTube channels if you don't have it already. And that's a good way that you can just keep up. Even if it takes you 2 years to get through 365 days, stick with it because it's
Right.
really, really, really well worth it. So, and today we are going to start with the introduction. We're going to try to keep them short, these things under 15 minutes or so that we keep your attention. And if you have any comments of your own, just put them in, excuse me, in the comment section so that we can get back with you on how we take your comment, basically. But that's another perspective for anybody else that is actually watching the videos as well. So, anything that you want to put in there, Andrea, before we start with the actual introduction?
No, I think that as we go, this will help to open up individuals' minds into how we begin to shift our perception of how we do things, how we think, and what we see things around us as. So, give it back to you, Bill.
Okay. Before I actually start with the introduction, you don't have to go out and buy the book. If you have the book, that's great. If you've got a Course in Miracles Made Easy book, that's great as well. But you can do this with a free link, which I'll
Mhm.
put in the first video. I'll put it in the comment sections where they can get that. And they can do it on their computer or on their smartphone. So they don't necessarily have to go buy a book, even though having
Right,
the book is always nice.
right.
So all right, so we're going to start with the introduction, and I'm doing this on. Actually, I'm taking this from the link that I will give people if they want it, and this is the actual workbook for students introduction. There are 9 different paragraphs in this particular one. Don't get scared. Think, 9 paragraphs. This is a lot to do. Um, when we get to the lessons, starting for and the first lesson, which would be tomorrow, they're much shorter. You can do them in 5 minutes, really.
Right.
But our perspective will take 15. I mean, it took me 4 minutes just to tell you my perspective on perspective. So, okay. Here's paragraph 1. This is a workbook for students is a theoretical foundation, such as the text provides, is necessary as a framework to make the exercises in this workbook meaningful. Yet as it's being done, yet it is doing the exercises that will make the goal of the course possible. An untrained mind can accomplish nothing. It is the purpose of this workbook to train your mind to think along the lines the text sets forth. And that's just a fancy word of saying we're building a foundation. The foundation, you start from the beginning. You don't build a house by putting the roof on first. It just won't work. So you have to set the foundation, and that's what this does lesson by lesson.
Absolutely. So the exercises are very simple. They do not require a great deal of time, and it does not matter where you do them. They need no preparation. The training period is 1 year, longer if you need. The exercises are numbered from 1 to 365. Do not undertake to do more than one set of exercises a day. So essentially, it's just about you doing it one day at a time, and it doesn't take that much time.
And the reason my perspective on that is, and that's why I said earlier, it might take you 2 years to get through this.
Mhm.
Um, is because you have an exercise to do. The exercise is something you want to keep in your mind all day long. So if you're trying to do 2 or 3 exercises, you can't do enough on the initial exercise that you're supposed to be actually completing that day. So the workbook is divided into two main sections. The first dealing with the undoing of the way you see now, and the second with the acquisition of true perception. And that's what I was referring to earlier. It's kind of like changing your whole personality, and we're going to change it from the inside out. And remember, our perspectives right now are based on the perception we have right now. So as we go through this journey with you, because I'm honest, all transparency, I've not done the entire book. This will be my first time going through the entire 365 days. So our perceptions as we move along will change as well. So you should probably see us be growing leaps and bounds as well. This is followed by a description of the specific procedure by which the idea for the day is to be applied.
The purpose of the workbook is to train your mind in a systematic way to a different perception of everyone and everything in the world. Pardon me. The exercises are planned to help you generalize the lessons so that you will understand that each of them is equally applicable to everyone and everything that you see.
Transfer of training in Drew perception does not proceed, as does transfer of the training of the world. If true perception has been achieved in connection with any person, situation, or event, total transfer to everyone and everything is certain. On the other hand, one exception held apart from true perception makes its accomplishment anywhere impossible. You know, that one might take me more than 15 minutes to actually dissect. But basically, what this is referring to, you got to remember that this book, it took from 1965 to 1972 to write. And then it wasn't even published until 1976. So it's been around for a long time.
Right.
But what this is talking to me is that the entire world needs to change their perception. And like I said, I haven't even read the whole book or done all the lessons, so my perception will be changing as we go. So this is really right now designed for each one of us, and hopefully we can take this to other people and help them as well.
Absolutely. The only general rules to be observed throughout then are first, that the exercises be practiced with great specificity, as will be indicated. This will help you generalize the ideas involved to every situation in which you find yourself and to everyone and everything in it. Second, be sure that you do not decide for yourself that there are some people, situations, or things to which the ideas are inapplicable. This will interfere with transfer of training. The very nature of true perception is that it has no limits. It is the opposite of the way you see now. And really what that applies to, and this may spark some discomfort as it inspires discomfort in me in this moment, being very transparent, is that even the most heinous of individuals in the world, whomever they are, in whatever your personal experiences have been, is to essentially view things from a completely different perspective, but not to place any meaning on anything because we are all the same in this moment. Ah, I had to get that out.
Yeah,
Back
and
to
you
you,
know,
Bill.
yeah, you know the good thing about it, it's not all about bad people and heinous things.
Correct.
It's about your very true perception, your perception of what you are like. When I see $100 bill, what's my perception of $100 bill? Am I rich, or does it have to be $1 million bill? Which
Right.
type of thing. So there's a lot of elements to your what you perceive, everything you
Right.
perceive. So anyway, number 8 in this paragraph or in this is some of the ideas the workbook presents you will find hard to believe, and others may seem to be quite startling. This does not matter. You are merely asked to apply the ideas as you are directed to do. You are not asked to judge them at all. You are asked only to use them. It is their true use that will give you them meaning to you. It is their use that will give them meaning to you. I'm not sure if that's proper English, but it's in there and will show you, and it will show you that they are true. That was my perception of that sentence. But yeah, what this is, we judge everything. Don't judge this. And I'm judging you that you'll judge it. So don't judge this. Go ahead.
And finally, remember only this. You need not believe the ideas. You need not accept them. And you need not even welcome them. Some of them you may actively resist. None of this will matter or decrease their efficacy, but do not allow yourself to make exceptions in applying the ideas the workbook contains. And whatever your reactions to the ideas may be, use them. Nothing more than that is required.
That's the introduction. A couple of things I forgot to mention here in the beginning. Lesson 1 will kick off Monday. It's not going to kick off today. This is the introduction, give people a little bit of time to see it. So the lesson 1 will kick off Monday. The word workbook, a lot of times, again, I'm judging all of you because of my perception. And when I think of a workbook, I think I got this thing, I'm going to be writing all this stuff out and doing this and doing that. If we had a workbook in high school, you had to fill it out, right? And I'm not saying you might not need a pen and paper at some portion in time in this thing, but you don't need to go out and buy a workbook. The only thing you really need to do I'm not going to say the only thing, but what you need to do in this is go in with an open mind. Go in it understanding that this has evidence in itself that it helps people. It helps people become better people. It helps them realize their dreams and their desires. It helps people just see the world a whole lot better. And it's by changing what's inside them right now. Remember that everything that's inside us right now has been something that's been programmed into us from birth. Most of it was programmed in between the birth and usually the age of 7 or 8. But it's things that have been programmed into us through our entire lives. So for me, I've had a whole lot more programmed into me than a young person such as Andrea. So, so anyway, I have a lot more in there that I perceive things differently. It also, my experiences because I'm older. I've done a whole lot of things that she hasn't done. She's done things that I haven't done. So that's the way we see the world. But that's what we're doing. We're seeing the world instead of feeling the world from the inside out so that we can see it differently. So, and that's what this is all about. And we're hoping that all of you will, as many of you as possible, will do this with us, and that you will take the time to not judge it, to come in with an open mind, and let this Course in Miracles, do your own research, look it up, and you'll see that this can only benefit you. So,
Absolutely. So that concludes the introduction of A Course in Miracles.
and we kept it under 15 minutes. We kept it at 10 minutes and 31 seconds right now. I had my, oh, wait a minute. No, that's the clock. Uh, 14 minutes and 22 seconds. Not
Look
bad.
at that.
So
All right, we'll see you on lesson 1. Stay
starting
tuned.
Monday.
All right.